Good morning, grade 9 learners. Welcome to our today's natural science lesson, proudly brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education. My name is Milton Gomo. Let us look at the structure of our lesson today. The knowledge area of our lesson is life and living, and the topic of our lesson is human reproduction. And the subtopic of our lesson is reproductive organs. Let's go through the objectives of the day. By the end of the lesson, you're supposed to be able to state the function of the reproductive system. You should also be able to label the organs on the female and male reproductive systems, as well as being able to mention the functions of each organ on the female and male reproductive systems. So these are the objectives of the day. And the source of our lesson is KEPS document, page 59. We're going to start off by looking at the pre-knowledge, what you need to recall so that you can be able to fit in into today's lesson and also understand as we move through. Recall what you did in grade 7 under the topic of human reproduction. As you can see from the images there, this is not new to you. We've got two systems that are shown there. That is the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. So if you can take a look at each of those systems, you can see that each system has got its own organs which make it up. For instance, if you are to go to the male reproductive system, you can see the male organs that are shown there. We've got the testicle that's shown down there, urethra, the penis, epididymis, bladder, seminal vesicle, and prostate. If you go to the female reproductive system, there are also organs that are shown on the female side. That is the fallopian tubes that are shown there, the uterus, the ovary, the cervix, the vagina, as well as the endometrium. So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at each of those organs that are shown in each of those reproductive systems and the functions for each of those organs. Right, so that's what you need to recall. So with the pre-knowledge that is grade 7 material under human reproduction, you can now easily answer the baseline assessment, which is only 2 questions as shown. The first question, number 1, says state and 2 organs of the male reproductive system. And then number 2 says state and 2 organs of the female reproductive system. So now in each question, you're just stating the organs that fall under that system. Don't mention any function, don't mention any location of those, just state. Right. I'm going to give you a time of 3 minutes to work on this baseline assessment. Let's get busy. Right, welcome back. I'm sure you managed to work out those questions. It was just a matter of stating two examples for each reproductive system. Right, the first one, let's look at number one. It says state and two organs of the male reproductive system. Right, from the lot that we have there, just pick N2. Okay, let's look at those organs. Right, we've got the penis, right? We've got the urethra. Also, we've got the testicle. Okay. Also, one can mention as well as the bladder. It falls under the male reproductive system. So we just pick and two from those that are shown. Right, number two, it says state and two organs of the female reproductive system. Right, so what you have there, we have got the uterus, we have got the vagina under the female side, then we've got cervix, right, then we've got the fallopian tubes, right, and then of course we've got the ovaries, right. So that list makes up the parts of the female reproductive system, right? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to copy those corrections. Then thereafter, we'll just look to what we have to do. Yes, move on. Right. So I'm sure that you managed to uh, look at the corrections and you've noted them down. Right now, we're moving into terminology, right? What keywords do we need to know about to master and be able to use with understanding? The first term we're going to look at is the penis, right? This one is a male organ that places sperm into females, right? What else do we have? We've got urethra, right? This is a long tube that excretes semen and urine, but not both at the same time. Okay, so it means that this tube is responsible for excreting either the semen or urine, but it doesn't excrete both of these at the same time, right? What else do you have? The testicle. This is the male organ that produces and stores sperm cells, right? Sperm cells. So now shown there in our terminology, we've got the male reproductive system, where it shows all these organs that we've just been defining under our terminology, right? The penis, there it is shown. There's the penis from our diagram. That's the penis. That's the organ that places sperm into females during copulation, right? Then, of course, we've got the other one, which is the urethra. Can we locate the urethra there? There it is. There is the urethra. There is the urethra. There it is. There it is. There it is. Right. This one, it excretes semen and urine. Like I said before, that it doesn't excrete these two at the same time, right? So that's the function of the urethra. I mean, as you go to the next one, there is the testicle. Let's locate it from our diagram. There is the testicle. There it is. There it is. Right. This one is the organ that produces and also stores sperm cells. Let's look at the other part of our terminology. This time around, we're looking at the terms to do with the female reproductive system. The first one is the vagina. Right. This one is it receives penis during copulation. Right. It receives a penis during copulation. The next one is the uterus. It is a hollow muscular organ where a baby grows during pregnancy. A hollow muscular organ where a baby grows during pregnancy. Then ovaries. These make female sexual hormones and also produce egg cells. Right. Shown on the diagram there is the female reproductive system, where we're able to locate each of those terms that we just spoke about, right? The organs that were just being explained there, right? First one, we spoke about the vagina. There it is. That's the vagina shown there. Then the next one is the uterus. We spoke about the uterus, right? Where is the uterus? Are you able to locate it? Yes, it's over there. That's the uterus. That's the uterus, which is also referred to as the womb, right? Then we've got the ovaries. Ovaries, let's try to locate the ovaries from the diagram. There is, all right, they are shown on either side, one on the left and one on the right. Those are ovaries, okay? So that's our terminology, right? Don't forget to note these down, because you're going to be using them time and again as we move through our lesson, right? So let's look at the first part of our lesson. That is, what do we need to know first before we look at the organs one by one and their functions? We're going to try first of all to remind each other about what is the reproductive system all about, its purpose and its function. Right. The function of the reproductive system is to produce sex cells. Right. Sex cells include the sperm, which is produced by males, right? And egg cells. Egg cells are produced by females. So that's the function of the reproductive system, right? What else is the function of this system? Production of offspring, okay? Production of offspring, okay? Remember that. During this system, that's when we've got fertilization taking place and also pregnancy taking place, as well as the birth of a new offspring taking place. So it's a very, very important system, because it is the one which is responsible for continuation of species and for continuation of life. Right, so that's function of the reproductive system. Right, let's look at structures of this system. For the males, we've got the testes that produce sperm cells, right? So males have got the testes that produce sperm cells, right? Remember, sperm cells are part of the sex cells, okay? For females, what we have? There are ovaries that produce egg cells and the uterus where the baby grows. Let's look at these structures in the form of a diagram. There they are shown. Human reproductive system. Right, we're going to look at them. We have got the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. Where under the male reproductive system, we've got what are called male organs, and other side, that is the female reproductive system, we've got the female organs. Right, and then now we spoke about the organs that produce, okay, the sperm cells, and these are the testes. They are shown there, the testes. Right, from the female side, we spoke about the ovaries that produce egg cells. Right, that's the ovary, that's the ovary. So these ovaries, they are responsible for producing egg cells. Right, and of course, we spoke about the uterus. Right, and there it is, the uterus, there it is. That's where the baby grows. Okay, that's where the baby grows during pregnancy. Okay, let's look at the reproductive system in a further detail. Right, this system is the main role of producing the offspring. Offspring is just another way to form children. Right, remember that once fertilization takes place, the main purpose there is to make a baby, right? And that baby grows inside the uterus, and that baby matures until gestation period is over, which means birth time. Then in that case now a new baby is born, and in that case the life is being continued. Okay, right, males are responsible for producing sperm cells and females are responsible for producing egg cells. Right, when an egg cell and a sperm cell fuse, they become one cell and a baby is formed. So that's all that we need to know about the reproductive system. Right, shown on the diagram there, we've got all the parts that are shown on either side. That is the female reproductive system and the male reproductive system. Okay, let's look at the organs in detail. First of all, we're going to begin with the male reproductive organs. Look at them one by one and also find out where they are located and the function of each one of them. Right, these ones include the penis, right, the sperm duct, the testis, the scrotum, and the urethra. So these are the main organs of the male reproductive system. Right, the function of the male reproductive organs is to, right, first of all, to make and store sperm. Right, males should be able to produce sperms. Right, those sperms are the ones which are passed over, right, to the females during fertilization, right, so that a new baby is formed and a new baby is born. Right, so it all begins by the production of sperms, which is done by the males. Right, what else? Right, this system is also responsible for placing the sperm into the female. That is the male reproductive organs. Right, they should be able to place the sperm into the females. Okay, shown there is the male reproductive system. Okay, we can easily locate the parts that we are just talking about right now. The ones which are responsible for making and storing sperm, that is the testis down over there. Right, that's where the sperm is made, and that's where the sperm is stored. Okay, that's where the sperm is also released from during the time for sexual intercourse. Right, we're going to start off by looking at the penis, find out the function of it and what role it plays under the reproductive system. Okay, the penis, it places sperm inside the female. Okay, it is the one which is used by males to pass over the sperm to the female. Okay, it becomes pregnant when extra blood is pumped into it. So for the penis to be able to pass over the sperm to the female is supposed to be erect, right? Supposed to be erect. It then releases semen in the vagina during ejaculation, right? So that's the penis. So which means in this case, we've got this organ, which plays a very important role, right? What it does is to pass over the sperm to the female, that is through the vagina, right? Through the vagina, right? Then the moment the sperm is released by the penis to the vagina, that is called ejaculation. That is called ejaculation, right? So that's the role that the penis plays. Okay, remember that we say that the sperm is produced in the testes, right, and stored in the testes, right. During the time for copulation, that's when the penis passes over, right, the what? The sperm, which has been released by the testes. It passes over to the vagina, right, and then that process is called ejaculation, right. But for some other facts to note there, right, for instance, do you know that the foreskin is surgically removed in a process called circumcision? I know some of you have gone through that process, right? Where in this case we've got the foreskin being removed, right? That's the foreskin. That's the foreskin there, and that's the image of the penis, right? That's where the urethra is. Okay, so those are the parts of the penis. Those are the parts of the penis. Right. Let's look at the next one, which is the sperm duct. The sperm duct, shown in the diagram, that is the sperm duct. Okay? Just like its name, what is its function? A tube that carries sperm from the testes to the penis. Right. So the sperm duct, it carries the sperm from the testes to the penis. Right, there is the testis. If you can locate it from the diagram, there is the testis. Okay, right. That's where the sperm is produced, there in the testis. Right. Now, when the sperm is being released, it's supposed to be transferred from the what? From the testicle. Okay. So it is transported all the way from the testicle, supposed to go to the penis. Remember, the penis is the one which is able to submit or pass over this, the semen or the sperm, right, to the female, right? So now, in the testicle, that's where we've got the production of sperm. Once sperm is produced, it is then released. When it's released, it goes through that tube, which is called the sperm duct, right, and connects to the penis, which then takes or pass over that sperm into the vagina, right, so that if a fertilization can take place. So that's the function of the sperm duct. It is very, very important there. As you can see, it plays a crucial role in making sure that the sperm is passed from the testicle to the penis. Okay. Next one, we're going to look at the testis itself. This one is the one which is responsible for production of sperm. So the testis make a sperm, right? These are the ones which are passed over to the females during copulation, right? The testis also make the male sex hormone, which is called testosterone, right? This one is also a very, very important hormone because it is the one which is responsible for all the secondary sexual characteristics in males, right? In our previous lesson, we spoke about puberty, and this is the hormone which is responsible for all the stages of puberty to take place. So the hormone testosterone is the one which plays a very important role in males, right? For all the sexual characteristics that take place in males, this is the hormone that is responsible. Okay, so that's the testis. Okay, so this hormone is also produced in the testis. So the testis, they've got a very important role to play, right? They make sperm and also they produce the male sex hormone, which is testosterone. Right, shown on there, we've got the the diagram showing the testis, right? That's the testis, as you can see there. That's the testis, right? So that's testis. That's where we've got the sperms being produced. That's where the hormone testosterone is produced, right? Now, the sperms are then released, as you said, through that oviduct. The sperm duct, as you can see, that's sperm duct. So the sperm, once it's produced, it goes through the sperm duct and connects through the penis. Then the penis is going to release the sperm into the females. That's the function of testis. Let's look at the scrotum. Right. This one is the bag of skin that holds the testis outside the body. Right. So that's the image of the scrotum shown there. Right. As you can see, it looks like a bag, and it is a bag. It holds the testis outside the body. Right. So now the testes are always held inside that bag called the scrotum. That's the function of the scrotum, to just hold the testes. Okay. Also, it keeps them at a temperature slightly cooler than the body temperature that is suitable for making sperm. Remember, we said that the testes are responsible for producing sperm, and production of sperm requires a temperature which is much lower than the body temperature. That's why the testes are located under there, so that they are not affected by the higher temperature of the body, right? They should have their own temperature which is cooler than the body temperature, because sperm production requires a cooler temperature than the body temperature, right? So now scrotum keeps the testes under there, so that they won't be affected by any increase in temperature or any high temperature of our bodies, right? So that's the function of the scrotum, right? Now we look at the urethra. This one's a tube that carries semen and urine, but never perform the function of transporting these two at the same time, right? It only passes out semen, then passes out urine, right? There's no situation whereby the urethra passes the semen and urine at the same time. It doesn't happen. Okay, so now during sexual intercourse, that is when now it's time for ejaculation. That's when the semen is passed by the males, right, through the urethra, right, to the vagina, right. Then, of course, during excretion, that's when urine is passed out, right, through the urethra. Okay, so that's the function of urethra, right. Shown there is the diagram, which is showing exactly where is the urethra and what it is, right. It goes through the penis. This one is the penis. So there is the urethra. Okay. So when it's time for passing out urine, there is the bladder. As you can see, that's the bladder. Urine is released, right, from the bladder. Then it connects to the urethra. Then it leaves the what? The penis. The body through the penis there, right. Then now when it's time for ejaculation, remember, sperms are produced there in the testes. Okay. Now the sperms are released, passed on to the urethra, then they are released. Okay, so these do not take place at the same time. Okay, that's the urethra. Okay. Then now we look at the male glands. Male glands, what are these ones? These release fluids that contain food for the sperm. Remember that sperm, they need food so that they're able to survive. During the time for copulation, sperms are meant to move, right? As they move, they'll be swimming all the way to go and locate the egg cells released by the ovaries, so that fertilization can take place. So now, for this sperm to be able to carry out their movement, to be active, right, take part in fertilization, they need to have energy, right? Therefore, they need food, right? So the male glands are the ones which supply food for the sperm, so that the sperm can have energy, so that when it's time for moving or swimming through to go meet the egg cells, they do that in a proper way. Okay, so the male glands, we've got the male glands that are shown there, right? We've got the ampulla, there it is. We've got the uh, the seminal vesicle, which releases the male glands, right? So now those are very, very important, okay? They're very, very important. Now we look at the first activity, that's activity number one. I'm going to give you 5 questions, 5 minutes for this activity. Now, before that, let's look at these questions in just in a brief way. Right, number one says state the function of the reproductive system. Right, that's number one, just stating the function of the reproductive system. Right, number two, it says name the organ whose function is stated below. Name the organ whose function is stated below. Right, A, the one which excretes urine and semen. B, the bag of skin found in the crotch under the penis. And C, the last one, a tube extending from the bladder to the tip of the penis. So that's our first activity. That's activity number one. Like I said before, 5 minutes for this activity. Thereafter, we'll get corrections. Let's get started. Right, welcome back. Now I'm sure that we all managed to finish that activity and we all managed to answer it correctly. Right, remember to also send through your work through our WhatsApp number, that is 079 578 2908. Right, so communicate with us through our WhatsApp number 079 578 2908 to send through all your work and solutions and also questions so that we're able to interact with you as we go through the lesson. Right, to the activity. Right, question number 1. It says state the function of the reproductive system. Right, the function of the reproductive system is to produce sex cells, right, as well as to produce offspring. Remember that I said offspring is another word for children. Okay, so now for the continuation of species, so that we've got new babies being born, so that life continues. That's the system responsible for this activity. Right, then number 2 says name the organ whose function is stated below. The first one, that's A, says the one which excretes urine and semen. Right, this one is the penis. That's the organ which excretes urine and semen. Right, the next one, the bag of skin which is found in the crotch under the penis. This is the scrotum. That's the one which holds the testis, right, under the penis at a lower temperature, so that there is a proper production of sperm. Right, then now see the last one, a tube extending from the bladder to the tip of the penis. What is this tube? This tube is none other than the urethra. That's the tube which extends from the bladder to the tip of the penis. Okay, so that's the tube which releases, right, the what, the semen and urine as it passes over to the penis out of our body. Right, so that's the activity. Note down the corrections, and for those who managed to write down the correct answers, keep it down. Right, let's move on. This time around, we're looking at the female reproductive organs. Female reproductive organs. What we've just been discussing about are the male reproductive organs. Now we're looking at the female reproductive organs. Shown there is the female reproductive system, right? You can see there we've got the organs like vagina, right, shown there, the cervix, right, the uterus, and then the ovaries on either side, as well as the fallopian tube. So that's the female reproductive system, right, and the organs which make it up. Right, what is it responsible for? Right, and also now, before looking at its functions, we look at the organs which make it up. Right, in detail, I've just say them out, right, and then these include the vagina, uterus, the ovaries, and the oviducts. The oviducts are the ones which are called the fallopian tubes, right? So once you see or hear when we talk about fallopian tubes, we are talking about the oviducts, right? We're going to be looking at the functions of these as we move on, right? The function of the female reproductive system or the reproductive organs is to make egg cells, right? To make egg cells, right? What else? To provide suitable conditions for the growth of a baby, right? Remember, only females get pregnant, okay? So that's where the babies are, right, are grown, right, in their uterus until baby time comes, which means until gestation period is over, okay? So the system, which is the female reproductive system, is the one which provides suitable conditions for the growth of the baby, right? Now, we want to look at these organs, right, one by one, as we look at their functions, right, and the roles that are played by each of them. Start with the vagina, okay? This one is the muscular tube that opens to the outside of the body. The vagina is the muscular tube that opens to the outside of the body. Can you look at the vagina from the diagram shown there? There it is. That's the vagina. Okay, that's the vagina. As you can see there, right, it opens to the outside of the female body. Right? There it is. Okay? Let's find more about this organ. It is the one which receives the penis during copulation. It is the one which receives the penis during copulation. That's the vagina. Okay? Then it also allows for the birth of a baby. Right? So during bedtime, the baby passes through, right, the vagina, which means the baby is going to move from uterus all the way through the cervix, then out through the vagina. And to say that the vagina is the opening to the outside of the female body. So that's when and where the baby comes out during bedtime. Okay? Now we look at the other organ, that's uterus. The uterus. This one is a hollow with a thick muscular wall. It's a hollow muscular organ, right? There it is. Let's try to locate it from the diagram, right? Do you see the uterus there? Yes, it's over there. It's shown there. That's the uterus. That's the uterus. Okay? As you can see, it's a hollow, right? And surrounded by a thick muscular wall, right? That protect the baby the time it grows until bedtime. Okay? This is where a baby grows. Okay? When a woman is pregnant. So now, when a woman is pregnant, the baby starts to grow from the uterus until the time comes, right? And then when it's now being born, it goes all the way through the cervix and out through the vagina. Okay? So that's the uterus. Okay? It is also called a womb. Right? It's called a womb. So the womb is just the uterus. So if you see these terms, just know that they only mean one organ. Okay? Then now we look at the ovaries. Right? Ovaries, what are they responsible for? Right? Can we locate the ovaries from our diagram shown there? That is the female reproductive system. Yes, the ovaries are shown there. One on either side. We've got the one that is shown on the left and the one that's shown on the right. Right, so those are ovaries. Those are ovaries. Okay? Now, what's the function of this? Right? The ovaries are the ones which are responsible for producing eggs. Okay? And these eggs are released one in each month. Okay? So they release one egg each month. Okay? Now, they also make female sex hormones. They also make female sex hormones that include the very important one, which is estrogen. This is the hormone responsible for all the secondary sexual characteristics in females. That's the hormone estrogen. In our previous lesson, remember we spoke about puberty. This is the hormone which makes sure that all the stages of puberty are reached, right? It is the one which develops all those changes, right? And it is the one which ensures all those characteristics of the sexual, right, developments which take part in the female reproductive systems or in the female bodies. So the ovaries make egg cells. They also make the sex hormones. Okay. We look at the other one, which is the oviduct. Right. The oviduct, remember, I said that these are fallopian tubes. Right. So the other name for fallopian tubes is the oviduct. Right. Let's try to locate them from our diagram. Do we see any fallopian tubes there? Yes. The fallopian tubes are shown over there. That's the fallopian tube. One on the side. Remember that just like the ovaries, we've got one on either side of the female reproductive system, right? So the fallopian tubes are also located, one on the left and one on the right, right? So now let's look at the function of these tubes, right? The oviducts carry the egg from the ovary to the uterus. That's the function of the oviduct, right? Now let's look at it, right? There is the oviduct. What happens? We've got the ovaries. The ovaries, what do? They release the egg, okay? The egg is going to go, right, through the what? Fallopian tube, right? There it is, there it is, there it is, down to the uterus. So the function of the oviducts is to transport the eggs from the ovaries, right, and take them all the way to the uterus, okay, all the way to the uterus. Then now, the sperm cells will meet the egg here, and fertilization occurs, right? So once the sperms meet the eggs, that's when fertilization occurs. That's when fertilization occurs. Oviducts are lined with the tiny hairs that sweep the egg along, right? So the egg has to make sure that it goes all the way down to the uterus. So now the hairs that are aligned, right, along the oviducts ensure that the egg moves until it reaches its destination, that's the uterus. Okay, let's look at activity number 2, right? Number 2, let's look at the questions that are shown there. Number 1, it says, state the hormone responsible for sexual characteristics in females. Number 2, name the organ whose function is stated below. First one, the one which produces egg cells and estrogen. B, the one which receives the penis during copulation and allows the baby to pass through during birth time. Then the last one, the holomuscular organ where the baby grows during pregnancy. So that's activity number 2. Let's have 5 minutes for this activity, then we do corrections. Right, welcome back. Let's get the activity. Right, check out the answers that we're supposed to indicate for each of those questions. Right, number one says state the hormone responsible for sexual characteristics in females. State the hormone that's responsible for sexual characteristics in females. And this hormone is the uh, estrogen. Right, estrogen. Okay. Number two, name the organ whose function is stated below. Right. So we're just looking at the function, then you match the organ. Right. Now, the first one, the one which produces egg cells and estrogen. So the one responsible for the production of egg cells and estrogen. Right. This organ is the ovary. Right. Ovaries are the ones which produce egg cells and they are the ones which produce the hormone estrogen. Okay. B. The one which receives the penis during copulation and allows the baby to pass through during birth. Right. So we'll state the organ which receives the penis during copulation and also allows the baby to pass through during childbirth. Right. So now this organ is the vagina. That's the one which receives the penis during copulation, right? And it's the one which allows the baby to pass through, right, during birth. Okay. Then C, a monomuscular organ where the baby grows during pregnancy, right? What is this organ? This organ is the uterus. Okay, the uterus, the one that we said is referred to as the womb, right? That's where the baby grows, right? During pregnancy until the birth, okay? Until birth, okay? So that's our activity, right? Let's write down questions for those of us who did not do well in this activity and for those who did very well by completing all those questions with correct answers. Keep it up. Right. Now, let's look at the summary for our lesson. Right, we spoke about the human reproductive system. That's where we've got two systems, right? That is the female reproductive system and the male reproductive system. And now, each system is got its own organs which make it up, right? For instance, under the male reproductive system, we spoke about the male reproductive organs, which include the penis, we spoke about the urethra, we spoke about the testicle, okay, and also the what? The prostate glands, okay. So now if you can check from the diagram again, we spoke about the what? The scrotum, okay. So those are the organs that we managed to discuss under the male reproductive what? Organs, right? For the female reproductive organs, we discussed about the vagina, the cervix, right? The ovary, and the uterus, as well as the fallopian tubes. Now, if you can take a look there, all those are shown, right, on the diagrams, right? Indicating the location for each. We spoke about the functions for each of those ones, right? We say the vagina is the one which allows, right, the baby to pass through during birth. Also, the vagina is the one which receives the penis during copulation, right? The cervix is the opening, right? Okay, which connects the uterus to the vagina, right? The uterus, that's where the baby grows during pregnancy, right? The fallopian tubes are the ones which transport the what? The egg cells, right? The eggs, okay, and take them to the uterus, okay? Right. So that's summary. Now, the homework, you are going to write down the homework question, okay? When you come for our next lesson, be prepared, right? Go find out more about this homework. What I'm going to do is just one question. Write in 2 stages of reproduction. Write in 2 stages of what? Reproduction. Remember to communicate with us through our WhatsApp number 079 578 2908. Okay, our next lesson, we're going to be looking at human reproduction, this time around, stages of reproduction. So go find more about it. Come ready for next lesson. Until the next time, thank you.